I'm Victoria Knight, Chair of the Education Committee here at SWMAR, and today I have Ann, who is our Vice Chair.
We have a lot of questions in the field about how to measure. Brandon, let's start with a ranch.
Okay.
Now, the ranch we're going to show has a little bit of complication and some questions from the field, but let's start with the basic ranch.
Okay. First thing that I notice here is it was on a walkout basement, but if we're looking at the main level, you're going to have some kick-ins and kick-outs up here in front that add to the aesthetics of the view that people are seeing. One thing that we want to make sure that we don't include in the square footage are the garages. Those are unfinished areas. That's not part of the living square footage. When looking at this blueprint here, you will notice that everything on the main level is finished. And it's nice that with it being a one-story, we don't have to worry about taking any deductions away for open areas or vaulted ceilings, as maybe in some of our other floor plans that we discuss later on.
So, from the field, how do we handle the measurement of a finished walkout basement versus the main level?
When you're looking at the basement here, I always like to take the path of least resistance when measuring. Appraisers need two measurements for the basement when looking at this. Appraisers will need a differentiation of the total square footage of the basement, which is everything that's in the basement here, outside of the porch and the garage. Those are on slabs. We also will need what the finished area is. So your bedroom, your bathroom, the rec room, the exercise room, and the half bath. The path of least resistance that I was referring to would be what's easier to measure to get that second square footage. We know what the total is. Now, is it easier to measure the finished area, which in this case looks like it might be with just easy rectangles and only a couple kickouts, versus the unfinished area that has all of these little bump outs here that could be a little bit more challenging when trying to calculate square footage.
And can we rely on the photographer's measurements when we're looking at the finished portion of the basement?
That is an area where, again, going back to a previous video, we discussed relying on the photographer's blueprints. Again, I treat those as what they are. They are a good starting point for me to verify my own dimensions.
Got it.
When we have the photographer doing an app to get these measurements, we don't exactly know what the parameters for that app are as far as calculating wall thickness. So that's one where I want to physically measure to make sure that what the information that my license is tied to is accurate.
Because it's the outside wall that is the basis, not the inside wall. The next question in the field is, if a garage is converted into a den, what requirements must be met to include in the total footage?
I think any typical buyer who walks in would require that an addition matches the same quality as the rest of the home. Quality craftsmanship throughout should be uniform. At the end of the day, accuracy matters when measuring square footage for your properties. If there's ever any question, you can always check with the ANSI standards or give one of your local appraisers a call. We'd be more than happy to assist.
Thank you for watching, and for more resources, check out the SWMAR YouTube page.